tonight. A shadow spinning in the fractured light. Your moves, they tell a story, but it's sly. Not a dancer, no, you crack that alibi. Your runway's marked by heels that burn the floor. Diamonds fake as promises you swore. Eyes screaming secrets to the darkest beat. But honey, you don't move with rhythm's heat. I don't know how good you are, darling. Don't know your tricks or what you're channeling. But if it's at the sheet, it's not dancing. More like a game where art and sin are glancing. Behind the curtain where the shadows sway. Your every move like riddles you replay. Not a step out of line, but something's off. Not dancing, darling, it's just plain soft. Your danger's dressed in glitter and disguise. Your hips don't match the fire in your eyes. Could call it art, but that would be a stretch. Your stage of little lovers can't unetch. I don't know how good you are, darling. Don't know your tricks or what you're channeling. But if it's at the sheet, it's not dancing. More like a game where art and sin are glancing. And are glancing. And are glancing. Behind the curtain where the shadows sway. Don't know your tricks or what you're channeling. But if it's at the cheetah, it's not dancing. More like a game where art and sin are glancing. And are glancing. And are glancing. Behind the curtain where the shadows sway. Don't know your tricks or what you're channeling. But if it's at the cheetah, it's not dancing. More like a game where art and sin are glancing. Sway. Your every move like riddles you replay. Not a step out of line, but something's off. Not dancing, darling, it's just plain soft.
I liked it when you came.
You are about to see the most savage, carnivorous ground beast in the world. Grizzly.
That thing seems to know what we're thinking.
A grizzly is an animal, Kelly. Don't give it human qualities.
18 feet of gut-crunching terror. The deadliest jaws on land belong to Grizzly. Rated PG.
How long have you had this?
3 days.
It has been 400 years since its last reincarnation.
Any pain?
It moves sometimes.
The soul of black magic is waiting to be reborn. The Manitou, rated PG.
The Manitou. However you're supposed to say it. And Grizzly,
Manitou.
2 fantastic films. That's going to be tomorrow night on the Drive-In Asylum double feature. And our special guest will be Jack Perez, filmmaker, longtime supporter of Drive-In Asylum. Fantastic guy. Can't wait to do tomorrow's show. And 2 great movies, too.
I love Grizzly. I think Grizzly is better than Day of the Animals, even if Leslie Nielsen doesn't take his shirt off and fight a bear.
I like it better than that, too. honestly.
Yeah.
There's more going on in Day of the Animals, but Grizzly delivers the goods.
I think Day of the Animals feels a little rushed or something. It's like it's all in medium and wide shots, and Grizzly actually has like some POVs and some close-ups, and it's a better movie, I think.
I still have the trailers playing. I'm a little behind you guys. I don't know why. They're playing
Why
on my
is
thing,
it-
so I have like all this trailer noise playing. So if I seem a little quiet, that's why.
This happens all the time, and I
Yeah.
don't know how to stop it. It's really annoying. Thanks a hell of a lot, Be Live. Anyway, sorry,
How about-
Sam.
It's okay. I love Grizzly. I heard Mike saying I love Day of the Animals too, because the only thing Grizzly doesn't have, Day of the Animals does has that scene where Leslie Nielsen whips his shirt off and fights a bear, which is incredible. Like, it's one of the best.
Yeah, I know. But Grizzly has what? Richard Jekyll getting killed twice?
Yeah, you're right.
So-
I love the Manitou so much.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Does Richard Jekyll really get killed twice in Grizzly?
Yeah, because like the grizzly attacks him and then like buries him, and then he like wakes up and you think he's going to survive, and then the grizzly kills him again.
Oh, okay.
You'll see tomorrow.
Yeah,
I forgot a detail.
The Manitou is so good. It's such a bullshit science movie. It's got so much good stuff in it. Also, I can make lots of Tony Curtis jokes. And does he have his daughter's wig and stuff like that? So it'll be good. Very excited for the Manitou. I'm shocked that we haven't either one of these movies, but we haven't. So pretty sweet.
All right,
I know,
so
I really
I was
thought
just-
we had done Grizzly, so I'm very happy if we did.
you guys did Day of the Animals. Do you remember what your co-feature was with Day of the Animals?
If only I had a list of all the movies to refer to.
Do you have a magic box you can look at?
Yes, I'm working on it.
I was just looking at it the other day, and I forget what it was now. Whatever it was stunning, I'm sure.
Yeah. Getting there. Scintillating television or whatever it is we are.
It looks like
Mountain.
Lee liked the movie.
Yeah.
She said,
we
I
did
like
it
it when
with,
Nomi kicks some ass at the end.
The alligator in Day of the Animals is what we did together.
Oh yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. I sometimes like I like to go back and look through what are some of the double features we did. And it makes me really happy because there are some really wild ones. Like The Deadly Spawn and Shock together is two movies that don't go together, but they do. I like it. Right?
Can you imagine?
The Children and Kathy's Curse.
What were we thinking?
Oh, right? I mean, it's funny because you can tell in the first couple episodes, we're only going to be
the
doing
second
this.
time tonight we started talking about Kathy.
Yeah. You can tell in the early episodes that we didn't think we were going to do it for long. So we're like, oh, we'll do Last Shark and Cruel Jaws together, or The Dark and the Visitor together. And yeah, or Beyond the Darkness and Absurd. God, that was a Sam week.
That was way too much Joe D'Amato.
Oh my God. Yeah. Streak of the Mutilated, Night of the Demon together. Come on. That's ridiculous. You guys, what are you thinking? But yeah. Anyways, good times. I'm glad people liked. It seemed like a lot of people liked Showgirls, as they should, and I'm glad they saw it with us. If it was your first time, let us know what your first time was like. What did you get out of it?
I'm still kind of like every time I watch that movie, I'm still a little taken. Like I keep discovering new stuff in it. Like remember where we were watching it and I was just like, wait, isn't it only like 12 hours since like I'm always like there's a lot of layers to that movie, even though it seems on the surface to be layerless.
My favorite is
Layerless.
my favorite is like who gets high and then wants sugar smacks. Either sugar smacks or potato chips. One or the other.
She grabs Coke in her nails, and then her roommate's like, "Are you high?" And she's like, "Yeah." Where are the sugar snaps? Like, no, Joe Esterhaus, it's not weed.
Yeah,
you don't get the munchies when you do Coke.
She gets like dragnet high. Like you think she might jump off a building.
Well, you gotta know.
Oh, and so I was. Do you okay? Do you remember that part where Gay, the choreographer, says she met her boyfriend because she chipped her tooth on a Quaalude?
Yeah.
I never understood what that meant. And then
Yes.
one day, Elizabeth Berkley on Instagram had posted something, and then that actress commented on it. And she goes, "Hey, it's me, Gay, who played the choreographer in Showgirls." And Elizabeth Berkley's like, "Oh my God, I've been trying to find you. I tried to look you up on social media," and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Gay," and like they're all inundating her with questions. And I was like, "Gay, I've always wondered." I don't remember what her real name is, but I just called her Gay. I was like, "Gay, I've always wondered, what did that mean when you said you chipped your tooth on a Quaalude? Do you mean that like you popped the pill and it chipped your tooth, or like you took a Quaalude and it made you unconscious and you fell down and chipped your tooth? Like, I don't get it." And she like replied to my comment and she goes, "Oh no, like back in the day when you take a Quaalude, you'd bite it in half and you take half of it and then keep the other half for the later in the night." So my character had chipped her tooth when she bit the Quaalude in half. And I was like, thank you. I've been wanting to know what that was for like 30 years.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
My tooth on a Quaalude. I'm so glad you cleared that up for me, because I was just going to mention that as one of the strange things that people say in this movie.
Well, yeah, like there's this
a lot
movie
of
is
it.
full of strange lines that you're like, you want to ask like Joe Esterhaus, like, is that what you do? Do you think that women do that, or did you? Are you being funny, or like?
Yeah. Also, I like that what Matt took out of it was that he wants to aggressively eat a burger next time that he has a burger. You got to eat it on your car though, and you got to park your car in front of some kind of landmark. That's the rules.
Yeah. So I was watching. I keep hearkening back to this interview with Gina Gershon that I watched the other day. But the guy who was interviewing her at some like film festival in New York is like, he quoted some article, some French reviewer who said that he loved Verhoeven movies because Verhoeven movies were always about surviving in a world populated by assholes. And Lee mentions, she goes, there were so many assholes in that movie. And it's like, when you think about it, it's like, what was RoboCop about? Surviving it. He was trying to survive in a world full of assholes, like Total Recall, a world full of assholes. Like everybody, I mean, Nomi was kind of an asshole too. Like, don't get me wrong, but everybody in the whole movie is just a total asshole. And it really is just like, Verhoeven movies are always like, you get one person and everyone else is just a prick.
That's what I love about RoboCop, because even Miguel Ferrer's character, like, he's a prick, but he's not as big of a prick as the gang. Do you know what I mean? And he's not the old man is the biggest prick of them all. And
right.
RoboCop and Nancy Allen are the only two worthwhile characters in the whole movie, pretty much.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Basically, it is, aside from like a couple of victims or something, people they rescue. There's like, yeah.
I like that he rescues one girl in the beginning by shooting through her dress and hitting a dude in the dick. Like, it is the greatest, like that's how he stops rape. But that's RoboCop. I love that by the third RoboCop movie that he's completely given up on the police system and he's like left and he's like helping these poor people. It's a very Occupy Old Detroit by the third movie.
Oh yeah, and it definitely was like, I remember when RoboCop 3 came out, and it was just this desperate attempt. I think it was Orion or something that was just trying to make some money, any money, and it was just like PG-13, and they're just like, maybe if we call it RoboCop, we'll make enough on the opening weekend to like pay the rent on our studio or something. It was bad.
Well, also like they paid Frank Miller to write the second movie, and they didn't use any of his stuff. Like the script was like too far, and it's like, yeah, but the first one is too far. Do you know what I mean? The first one is like well, there isn't even the Goyer cut on the Arrow disc that just came out, and like it's crazy. And it's like, and then the other ones are like, but what if we made this? And like you said, by the third one, it's PG-13. There's a TV show, there's a cartoon, and Kenner's put out action figures.
Oh yeah,
and it's just like, I guess that's the cycle. I mean, Police Academy went from blowjob jokes in the first movie to a cartoon series too. So
Right.
if there were more
Mission
showgirls,
in Moscow.
yeah, if there were more showgirls movies, God, by the end we might have gotten showgirls, little showgirls or showgirls babies.
Oh my God! Look, Nomi Malone is in the YouTube chat.
Yeah. Nomi Malone, your time has come.
Yeah. On my, I was looking at my Showgirls Blu-ray bill, and it has how to strip lessons from the Girls of Scores and a pole dance lesson as well. So that's what I used for the drink video. That's
I was talking about. Oh my God. Isn't it awesome to hear them talk about it?
Yeah. I think it's
They're like, oh yeah, like everyone's having a good time here, but she looks like she's, it's violent. It's threatening what she's doing on stage. She's dancing too fast.
My favorite part is Mike, I think, said that she put lipstick on her breast, but when she takes off her top for that magician and her nipples are so angry at him, they become, it's like the Hulk. Instead of turning green, her nipples have become like neon red.
She did put lipstick on them or something. Yeah.
That's where she got her powers from. That's how she was able to kick the shit out of him so much that she was like
Wonder Woman.
Activate. Yeah, she spun around. She was like Isis. She was like power of nipples.
I just don't think her. I like I said, I just don't think that his beating was good enough.
No.
Like her friend is in the hospital and she's probably going to be in the hospital for like a month and all this stuff. And like his beating was like, he's just going to put an ice pack on his head the next day and just be like, damn, that broad was wicked. Like,
yeah,
she needed to beat him harder.
Well, I mean, she should have killed him. Like, cause her friend is never going to be the same again. After the dudes were all licking her face.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, or she should have handicapped him or something, like cut his Achilles heel or something, so that he would just have to limp around like Kevin Bacon in Murder in the First.
Yeah. Or Fred Gwynn in Pet Sematary.
Yeah, that would ruin his life easily if she did that.
She should have cut his dick off. I mean, we know where this is going. Like, I mean,
and then she would have been. Then she probably she would have been too culpable for something.
He didn't
the thing is that
he do anything with his dick.
Oh, he was just face licking.
I mean, I believe probably they all. I don't know. It's
he was just like dating the whole thing.
Yeah, I know, with his like gross bodyguards, but I don't know. Poor Molly.
If I wrote the movie adaptation for it, he and his bodyguards would be in a weird throuple, and he would just like to see them get with dudes. That's my headcanon for this movie, and it's just like kind of weird, and like he doesn't like women, but he thinks he should be with them. Wait till you see me bottomless. That's the name of that chapter.
What about if like him?
Well, there was something going on with that. I mean, what else would be his motivation for that?
What if Molly comes too, and then she's just like, hey, you guys, like, let's form a gang, and then she and him and his bodyguards become like this Last House on the Left train group. That would be creepy.
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm for that too.
She'd become one of them too.
Yeah, she's been like initiated into their gang. Or do we?
Well, that
is the second one like Day of the Woman, where she catches one of the bodyguards in the bathtub.
Yeah. I don't know. She probably would do it.
I'm only
Day
calling
of the
Day of the
Woman. I
Woman
love
now.
it when you call I Spit on Your Grave Day of the Woman.
I will. This is the problem. Like, when I talk
you.
to people that don't watch the show, I'm like, I was watching Day of the Woman the other day, and they're like, "What's that movie?"
I like the title "I Spit on Your Grave" more, even though Miyazaki doesn't. But Miyazaki didn't really know how to market, because I love those Day of the Woman posters and stuff. But it wasn't until Jerry Gross got a hold of it that anybody really wanted to watch it. So
Jerry Gross is the king of renaming movies. Do you know what I mean? Like he is just like the best. When you're born with a name like Jerry Gross, you have to be able to good at naming stuff.
Well, so Lee brings up something. She said she liked Nomi's first boss more than Kyle MacLachlan. I think that's kind of like, it's kind of like the point. I feel that's like Nomi's first boss and Kyle MacLachlan are both these exploitative pricks but at least Nomi's first boss has the integrity to just be like, yeah, I'm just running this shitty bar and like, hey girl, whatever. Like Kyle MacLachlan's just like, oh, we're fancy and like you look beautiful and like I'm driving a fancy car, so I feel like what is you guys called him Bobby
Davey? Yeah, Bob Davey.
Bobby Davey is like probably actually like he's got more integrity in this character in this movie. His character has more integrity than
at least he warns the girls about getting cum on him. Do you know what I mean? Like he's like there's some concern there a little bit. I like when he comes and he's on the big stage and he's looking around. He's like, "Whoa, it's fancy here." Like he's like out of his element. He's like, "I'm only used to the dark. I can't come out into the light."
Yeah. Did you hear the joke that Henrietta was telling on the stage?
Never been there.
Yeah, what joke does she tell?
She's like, telling it to the audience. She's like, do you guys know what a tiger is? A tiger's a big pussy that eats people. And then Nomi comes running out. She's like, Mom.
Yeah. She interrupts her joke.
Oh, it's so good. The most impressive thing, I see Nomi and Malone brought up Kyle MacLachlan's, but I mean, I know everybody knows about the lovemaking scene in this, but it was even watching it with you guys, it was even more intense because like she's almost drowning. She's under a waterfall. She's completely backwards. Like she's had to have broken off his dick. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's no one has ever made love in this way.
Yeah.
Like
the water was going right up her nasal passages.
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can't like
it'd be like a navage.
Like making love underwater just doesn't work. I don't know. It's just there's too much to get into, but everybody in this chat knows that like it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Maybe if they were dry humping or something, but it wouldn't be dry. I don't know. It's just like
what you said when we were watching it, Mike. Imagine if you had never had sex.
The couple that got eaten in Piranha 2.
Yeah. Imagine if you had never had sex and you saw this scene. You're like, well, I guess this is what it's going to be like when I have sex. And this is your only experience with sex. So the first time you do, you're like, let's get in the pool. And you just start throwing somebody around.
So funny story. When I saw this movie, I was a virgin.
Not only that, this is hot.
It's what? What were you saying, Bill? So anyway, yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I got wrapped up in your story about being.
Oh no! So I mean, I was a virgin when this movie came out, but thankfully, I'd grown up with like Cinemax and like Italian movies and stuff. So I kind of had an idea of like what it was going to be like later. But so Showgirls didn't ruin me, but yeah, that would have ruined me if I was like some Amish guy who like wandered, left the community and then went to go see Showgirls. Jesus,
I thought it was going to be like Bolero. That was my initiation. I was like, oh, pleasure. I don't know. I was going to just be horrifying and boring like Bolero.
I mean, Showgirls wasn't like the funny thing was
this movie is really creepy because it really does.
So Bill, you're on a delay. Keep going.
Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I know. It's okay. I like what you guys don't seem to be on a delay, so it's better that way.
No, it sucks because every time you start, okay, keep going, just talk.
I forget what I was saying. I really do.
Okay, we're giving you carte blanche and a blank check.
What did I want to say about this? Nomi's transformation in this movie is so serious. It's like almost Shakespearean, the gravity that they give it with this character, because she's so violent and she reacts violently to any challenge that she comes across, or hostility. She's pulling knives on people, but yet she's out to prove something to herself. Because we learn later that she was engaging in prostitution. She was, assault with a deadly weapon. I don't know if she had guns or not, but, she was living a bad life. And then she left it behind. And this was what she thought was going to be her transformative moment, was when if she could become a Vegas showgirl. This will leave her life of, being quote unquote a whore, and that's what she reacts so violently whenever somebody suggests that to her, that what she's doing is trading something personal for money, and that's the whole message, is that we're all engaged in some kind of transactional arrangement. So I don't know. It's
I
kind
think
of creepy.
I mean,
It's
I
a
think that's
creepy
true in
thing
the
to like be like, oh,
entertainment
I'm going to write a
industry.
movie about this.
I think it's true that, if you're in the entertainment industry, you're a whore. Like, I don't think you're a whore, with what you do, Bill. And Sam, you're not well, you're kind of a whore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do advertising. I'm completely a whore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
And,
don't get paid.
I make far less than whores. It sucks, but. Who's killed the mat? He says they weren't dry humping, they were wet humping. Exactly. I don't know. Sex, I've never liked sex in pools or hot tubs. I just don't like, I like dry skin. Like, I think that scene with Kyle MacLachlan would have worked better if they would have like poured champagne all over each other and like made out, and then it would have cut to like a dry bed, like some kind of Basic Instinct scene where they were like making love in satin sheets or something. But I mean, maybe
Yeah.
I'm trying to redo the movie in some way that would make the movie less
It was a
special.
strange choice. Yeah. I think the fact that this is the instinctive thing that these characters do is really out there, because this is Nomi. Like, this is the first time she's been invited into a home like that, like Kyle MacLachlan has. Because
Yeah.
think about it, like, she didn't come from that kind of background. So she's probably never been inside a house as nice as that, or been the object of desire by somebody who owns a home like that. So that's a big moment for her when they go out into that pool.
So Lee was saying about how
Obviously, it was going to be the pool.
do you guys feel like when she went home with James and like danced in his warehouse and let him put his hand down her pants, do you think that kind of like, because before that she was so street smart and she's just like, she knows everybody's angle and she knows like where they're coming from, but then she kind of let like James do that, and she was, she's just like, oh, you can fuck me when you love me, and she just left like do you think that that was in Nomi's character to like let him go that far with her?
I don't think she'd ever been with a black guy.
I don't think she was doing it because she thought yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
She was just kind of like, there's a first time for everything. So, but also she, she was just sort of like looking for somebody probably that could help her in some way. And James was somebody, he kept coming at her like he was all serious about dancing, and like he was critiquing her dancing, even challenging the very core of what Nomi Malone was doing in Las Vegas by suggesting she was lowering herself by dancing at the Cheetah.
You fucking him
And
without
yet,
fucking him.
he turned out to just be another user too.
But he also like, was his dancing any different
scene in the whole movie?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see him as being a user.
Exactly,
I think of him as being another Nomi. You know what I mean? Like, he just wanted to like put on you know what I mean? Like when he puts on that dance thing at the Crave with like Rena Riffle and stuff, it's not like he's a Kyle MacLachlan or like the guy who picked her up and stole her suitcase. He's just kind of like, I think he was more naive. I think he was more like her. He was just coming from a bad background, and he was like, oh, like maybe if I do this dance thing, like people will respect me and like stop thinking I'm a valet. Like for him, I think being a valet or whatever was like being a whore.
But he gave Penny a part in the number because
you're not going to give her my part, are you? Oh, by the way, Rena Riffle wished Bill happy birthday on my Instagram. So we got the stars here tonight.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Right on. Thank you, Rena.
I wish you would have joined the chat. God damn it. But whatever. We'll do that for your 56th birthday.
Celebratory beverage.
I think.
Paula
that is weird that she is hurt and did she maybe see James as a potential mentor because of he was one of the few people that didn't instantly see her as beautiful and was willing to shit talk her and say that you're lowering yourself and like trying to break down her dance. Do you know what I mean? Versus
Yeah.
everybody else was like, you're the best. But then on the other hand, like when she finds out is the true bad thing that he did is the once she finds out that he's the same as her and he's no better than her, and in fact maybe worse, and that he's just like anybody else, is that why she gets so upset? Because like, did she almost see him as being like a port in the storm, or like the I always call it the breaking case of dick and glass. I always call it, where it's like that's your guy that like, oh, I can always go back to him whenever I get screwed over, and they're like, no, he's already with somebody else. He's replaced you with Rena Riffle's character.
Well, he took her seriously as a dancer. I think that was what she liked about that arrangement, because he actually told her that she could dance and that she burned when she danced. But again, he kept giving her mixed messages. He's like, "Well, dancing ain't fucking." Well, what the hell does that even mean? What are you trying to tell her by saying that? But he recognized her as a dancer, and I'm sure she liked that. He was the art dancing, like the dancing you do because it's artistic and it's expressive, not Crystal's kind of dancing, which was just taking off your top and jumping out of a volcano.
I mean, I think also, he didn't exploit her in the way that these rich guys would. Like, so her boss at the strip club was kind of exploitative, and Kyle MacLachlan was kind of exploitative, but they were in a position to be exploitative because they owned something or whatever. And so so what was his name? James? Yeah. So James is like, treated her like an equal. And it's really because he was just kind of on her level. And so, it was like, so she was kind of torn because she's like, okay, well, here's this guy who kind of respects me and he gives me shit and he doesn't, let me walk all over him. But he's also just like another me. He's just living life in Vegas, trying to do his thing. But then here's these rich guys who want to treat me like a whore, but I think I can play them and like maybe I can out whore them and like get something from them before they can take from me what I don't want them to take. So I don't know. It's a delicate dance, I guess.
It's interesting. There aren't many people in this movie that she can't use her sexuality against. Do you know what I mean? Even Crystal.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like everybody wants her.
Oh, and Crystal really wants her. I mean, Crystal gets so furious when she finds out that she had fucked Kyle MacLachlan that like she's like legitimately angry and is like gonna like, you know. What I love is how they never gave her a letter that said that she had the understudy position. They just told her. But when they when they want to can her from the position, they give her this official letter. This is like, we are not giving you the understudy. And it's like, well, this dude told her she had the position while they were snorting coke naked in his bed. But then, like, to tell her that she doesn't have the position, they have to get lawyers and a letter.
What is the HR department like there?
I know that one lady in the HR department, all she does is just go, name, social security number. Like, she doesn't handle anything else.
That's what she's there for, yeah. In that makeup, that elaborate makeup that she had on.
I know, it's like, what's your social security number? I don't know, but I'll get it for you.
How were they paying her? They couldn't have been paying her a dime.
Oh God,
do you know how hard paying her a dime?
I had an expired driver's license and like they wouldn't give me a job until I showed them my passport or something. Like, you can't just walk into a place and like get employment by telling them I'll get you my social security numbers at some other point.
These I was just, it struck me this time how that line is actually pretty impactful, because that is true about Nomi's parents being dead and she doesn't have any family, but no one's supposed to know that. So when she says that, like, this little fib she told suddenly seems real.
Oh, and by the way, like, I'm not trying to insult anyone in the chat or anything, but like, Nomi is a total fucking cancer. Like 7'3", 73. Like every cancer I've ever known has like been exactly like Nomi. I'm looking at the chat. See, it's gonna. But you know what? That's a compliment. It's a compliment.
Nomi is very what's her name from The Substance. It's the same thing. Like, how does she get paid to be on the show? Like when she creates this new, she has a whole other identity. She doesn't have a social security card either. Like it's like, oh, you're just this girl from nowhere. That's fine. We understand. It's show business.
Yeah, definitely. It's like that's why I think that like why I don't know. I feel like that you actually bring something interesting up, and that's I think that Showgirls and The Substance kind of exist, and it kind of they both create these artificial showbiz worlds
Mm-hmm.
where I think Showgirls is more sort of realistic or less fantastique, and so
Mm-hmm.
people were more willing to be like, oh, like every time it doesn't resemble reality, it must be bad.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you would never think that The Substance is bad because you're like, oh, The Substance is some crazy movie made by some crazy French lady that's like obviously like not supposed to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that Showgirls is some crazy movie made by some crazy Dutch guy and written by some crazy Hungarian guy that isn't meant to be taken seriously. But MGM was like, well, we're not going to put out some fucking weird satire written by these two crazy Europeans. So we're going to try to pretend that it's a real movie. Oh, what? You don't like it? You think it's it's so.
Well, it's like
know.
look at those ads that Bill showed. They tried to make it some kind of event. They're like, show is about to begin, and it's like this the ad campaign is relatively classy for it. Do you know what I mean? With like the S shape of her and stuff, and it's beautiful. And it's like what it should have. It should have a Last House on the Left kind of campaign. I don't know. It should have a Russ Meyer campaign for it.
I mean, it really was just like almost like they did the same thing with Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
When they put it out, they were like, "Oh, this is like some super serious, interesting, like action movie." Like, and then that's why that everyone thought he was really, fascist or whatever. And it's like, no, they're making. Have you seen these like RoboCop-esque like little news asides, and stuff like?
The end of it, whenever they're like, "We've captured the brain bug," and everybody's like all freaked out. He goes, "He's afraid," and like that whole scene is like so ridiculous. Like, that's how you can. It's a comedy. Like it's.
I think the reviewers that didn't like it, I think it probably just kind of rubbed them the wrong way because they probably watched news like that and bought into like stuff, but that's a different story.
Well, they probably liked the book, which is written by a total fascist. And they're like, I wish this was more like the book that just makes it cool to hunt down alien races and exterminate them.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, yeah. So, I mean, my opinion is I think Showgirls is Starship Troopers, but in Vegas with living people. I think it's a fantasy. I think it's a joke. I think it's a satire on purpose.
Well, especially like the big moment scenes, like we talked about the her rising out of the volcano and her eating the cheeseburger. Like there's this gravitas added to too much gravitas added to a cheeseburger eating scene. Like if you don't realize that, like you said, that it's a fantasy and a comedy, like those scenes are written. And every time she's powerful in it, she's like made up to a degree that like, I know Showgirls wear makeup, but do they, like no one has like this much stuff in their hair. Like in like you said, like her eyes looked like pink eye at one scene.
The lids had rhinestones on them. Like
it wasn't a good look up close.
No, there's something about it. It's like there's too much skill into making this movie. Like I said, there were so many bad movies around that era, like the Shannon Tweed movies, or Anna Nicole and Skyscraper. You know what I mean? Like there were bad movies, and then there was this, which just had way too much skill involved. And like I'll give you that the script is a little underbaked or whatever, but there's no reason to believe that the man who made Total Recall and RoboCop and Basic Instinct was suddenly going to lose, his marbles and just like make something that was incompetent that had like no purpose behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an incompetent film. Most people assumed that it was, though, even if they hadn't seen the film, because
it's easier to make fun of things than to try to understand them and try to find something out of it. Do you know what I mean? And try to figure out the mystery behind it.
especially when
It
something is
didn't
like
have an
some
actual
offbeat.
pornographic. It didn't
When
have an
something is
actual
some
pornographic moment in it.
Well, there was I think what was like I think like the dirtiest part really was I guess when like Elizabeth Berkley and Rena Riffle were like scissor sistering on stage or something. Like when I looked at that, I was just
Yes.
like, oh God, they really did that. Okay.
Even that was simulated, though. There are no human moments in this movie
Yeah.
that are worth a damn, because it's all like, sex as power. It's all sex as manipulation, even violence. But there are no real
Nobody made
intimate
love in
moments.
this movie. Even the end where like
Yeah,
Elizabeth Berkley makes out with Gina Gershon, it wasn't even like they like tongue kissed each other in a very passionate way. They were just like
yeah.
goodbye.
It's very porn kisses. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like the weird, like, or Jess Franco kisses. Like in his movies, like people kiss in very disturbing ways. Like no human beings, like they've never really kissed before.
So wait, who would Lena Rome play in this? I feel
I
like she would play Crystal, even though she would
yeah,
be probably too young for it. And I'm thinking in the alternate universe when she was like in like Wanda the Wicked Warden,
yeah.
but they would
She
just
would.
make her up, to appear like this older broad,
100%, and they would also put diamonds all over her vagina, just like in Shining Sex.
What was the movie? Was it Jack the Ripper where she would like have this song and dance on stage where
Yes,
she was like, yes, yeah, like that's who I'm picturing. It's like her as Crystal, but like it's Lena Rome from Jack the Ripper.
yeah, exactly.
I want to see this. That's what AI. We should use
Yeah.
AI. Like AI, will you do like if Jess Franco made Showgirls?
AI, draw me a picture of Jess Franco girls, and it's like I can't do that because so many AIs have like the filter where it has to be PG-13. Like we can't show you.
Oh my God! Well,
Nomi steals
They do
diamonds
that stuff. I see it
from
on YouTube all the time. It's like Aliens. It was the 50s. If it was a 50s
yeah.
sci-fi film, and it'll look like it, but it's the movie Alien. So it's possible. It'll happen one of these days.
I want it.
It can't happen soon enough because I'm not getting any younger. That's what I wish. Like it sucks to be a young person these days, but you'd still have so much more technology to look forward to.
I mean, this is why AI was created.
So Lee said she wouldn't hang out with anybody in Vegas. What about? I think like Nomi's roommate is probably like the only good person in this movie. Maybe.
Yeah, I think she definitely is.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's
I
the
would say
only
like
real
Nomi's roommate.
personality in this film, because she's like, she's not a fascist. She's not looking to grab power and have a nice life because of that. She's working and she's putting herself through school. And so she's sort of like, she is never going to be a part of that world because she's not even trying. This is just sort of like a vehicle for her to get to a better place in her life. So she's not one of them. And that's why she has to be attacked and violated.
I always kind of thought that this movie, it's almost kind of like a puppet show in a way that you have like the good people and the bad people. And it's really, I don't know. You can really understand it in real life. Like I remember having this friend who really pissed me off. He really did something to like really piss me off in the way that like Molly's pissed off at Nomi. And there was going to be some party and I was like, no, I don't want to go. And he comes up to me and he's like, it won't be a party without you, Molly. And I was like, oh, I get it. You want me to forgive you like Molly did Nomi and Showgirls. Well, I guess if Molly forgave Nomi, I can forgive you. And like, that was just shorthand between us. Like this movie has spoken to my generation and our generation in such a way that like, I feel like we almost use it in our daily life. Like this can't be a bad movie if like we keep hearkening back to it,
Yeah. It means something to everybody watching it now. Definitely the three of us talking, it means something if we took our Friday nights up with it. And this is Bill's birthday movie.
It's a beautiful movie, I think. I love the interiors, especially like the phony strip club, the cheetah. That looks like a really fun place to hang out. Also, the even the inside of the Stardust, what is supposed to be the Stardust, which incidentally in the film there's a great shot where you see the Stardust behind the cheetah, as if they were right next to each other. And that's totally not the way the real cheetahs was.
I love what you pointed out, Bill, and I never noticed this before, is when Crystal and Nomi come back from like lunch to like practice on stage, and Crystal just like throws on some light switches and the whole thing comes alive, and she's like, okay, well, we're here to dance. And it's like, really? Like just one person can just like flip the switch like you're walking into an apartment and like the lights will just come on.
Yeah. They're all alone. They have to be all alone because they're going to have this sexual moment. Lee was alluding to this earlier in the chat. This was just another way, because we know that Nomi was not into girls because Molly asked Molly that before she moved in with her. But this was another way of Nomi Malone, thank you. She was selling herself out because she really didn't have that inclination, but she was willing to go there with Crystal, at least for that brief moment. Like she let her take her top off and she kissed her. And if Crystal hadn't stopped, like where might that have gone? And that was another lesson that Crystal was teaching her, was that she really is a whore. She came to this business. She's going to have to be one.
Was Nomi even into guys? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Nomi was almost asexual in a way, because like she was so upset. She was so kind of like narcissistic and obsessed with her career. And, you know, she had this traumatic background. Like you never saw her like talking to Molly and being like, oh, I wish I could meet somebody. I'd love to have a boyfriend or something. Like everybody who she had a sexual or romantic relationship with was nobody who she had feelings for, except for maybe James. But like it was all sort of based on like
the thing, and then she felt betrayed. Then she felt betrayed when Penny was in there with them. So like even this time that she had like maybe reached out, she felt burned again.
Yeah. So it was like I the thing with Nomi is like I just don't see like as sexual as Nomi was, she was almost unsexual in a way. You know, like her character isn't motivated by romance. You know what I mean? Like most people in the movies are like, oh, I want a boyfriend. Oh, I want to have sex. Oh, that guy's hot or whatever. You never seen like Nomi like reacting to a man, reacting to a woman in a like a legitimate, authentic way. Like she wants to like have sex with them, date them, whatever. It's always just about like dancing and her ego and her id.
When I say she's not sexy, I didn't mean that as a dig against Elizabeth Berkley, because a lot of people did you know, try and, you know, belittle her.
Oh, Siskel said she was hard around the face.
Hard around the face. Yeah. I don't know. But I just meant the character herself is just very unsexy. It's like we were talking about earlier. She has jerky, awkward movements. She's violent, and she will go to any extent. She proved herself one of them by almost killing Crystal. She could have killed Crystal when she pushed her.
I mean, you push someone down the stairs.
And
I mean, you're lucky if
she was willing to go there.
Leg,
she crossed that line.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think she was sexy either. And it has nothing to do with like Elizabeth Berkley like not being attractive. It's just like her character is not you know, snuggable or something. Like there's just nothing about Nomi that makes me think that Nomi cares about she's committed to, I guess, her career, but like she's not committed to her career, because if she were committed about her career, she would know what her you know social security number was for the HR person. You know what I mean? Like she's really unprofessional. Like, she just wants to. I don't know what
Elizabeth Berkley was committed to the role. Like,
oh God. Oh, really, I think 150%. Yeah.
That dancing scene alone, like where she makes the first time we see dancing at the cheetah. I think I read that she filmed that for like, you know, more than a day. It was like 22 hours or some crazy amount of time she had to be up there doing all that stuff.
Well, how much training too did she need?
And I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine doing something bad, and she performed it so well.
She was 19 though. You know, when you're 19, you can go woo. She believed in this movie like 150%, and I'm glad now that like
Yeah.
it's gotten a resurgence, and because you know, people were so mean to her when this movie came out. And now it's like she goes, I think there was,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think it was like 10 years ago or something. They had like this big screening at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and they didn't say that she was going to come to it. And they have this on YouTube. You guys can watch like clips of it. And it's, and they're like, oh, by the way, before we start the movie, we have like a special guest. And like Elizabeth Berkley comes out on stage in front of like 3,500 people. And she's like, hey, it's me. Throw your fries in the air. I love it. And it was, a great thing to have happen after, her, for what, 20 years, like having to read every review of something she's in going, well, she acquits herself nicely from having been in Showgirls. And it's like, how long are you going to talk about Showgirls?
Yeah. I think I don't think she's bad in the film at all. I just think she did exactly what Paul Verhoeven asked her to do. And maybe she wasn't experienced. I mean, there are some scenes where you can tell she's probably not all that experienced at it. This was the first big movie that she did. And, I don't think she embarrassed herself at all. I think the bad aspects of her performance were in the script. And maybe like, maybe she wasn't experienced enough to make a bad script sound good. I'll say that. Maybe that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I acquit
and
her.
I think also too, it's like, I don't think anybody, as much as people like to say like, oh, her career was ruined. It was like after she was in the First Wives Club, she was in that Oliver Stone movie, Any Given Sunday. She had like a nice little part. She was in like that Woody Allen movie. She was on The L Word. She was on Criminal Minds, like you said. Like she was in this. I remember this movie called, I think it was called The Tax Man or something. Oh, and she was in The Real Blonde by the guy who made Living in Oblivion. And that was actually really good. Like she was getting all these like interesting roles with like these cool directors and stuff. So like it was never like a question of her being like cast out of Hollywood as like some pariah or something. It was just like, okay, well, that was cool. You're not going to be Sharon Stone because that movie did not make a lot of money, but you know what? We like you and we'd like you to stay in the fold and we're going to cast you and stuff. And she always kept working. I don't see it as a sad story at all. I think it is kind of like a really kind of a cool story because like Showgirls was really, if it wasn't for Showgirls, she would have no career today at all.
Agreed.
And she likes it now too. She signs autographs and stuff. Like she does like, she signs Nomi-isms on like stuff. Like, yeah, she's totally into it. Lee is like the first person who watched this movie tonight. Or she's watched it for the first time. Yeah.
The soundtrack. Let's talk some soundtrack of this movie because it's so good. There were a couple things I forgot to reference. This is the last time Susie and the Banshees ever recorded anything, I think, was for this soundtrack. They did that song New Skin, which is really one of my favorite tracks that they ever did. So there was that. And also Dave Stewart of Eurythmics did the Goddess tracks. And that's him playing that guitar thing. That the music starts to get a little annoying after a while because they play it over and over again.
The music in Showgirls?
That music that they use for Goddess, it's like that same stuff. Oh, we see it over and like 2 times, 3 times.
Did you notice? I noticed this for the first time, like when Nomi and Crystal are making out in her hospital bed, they play like this sort of languid, like romantic version of like the Goddess thing where it's like
Goddess.
And I was like, oh God, this composer like took like he thought that like that refrain from Goddess was so like heart-wrenching that he like worked it into like this sad goodbye music. I mean, this is why I love the movie,
refrain.
because there's so many details,
Love theme from Showgirls.
Love theme from Showgirls. Exactly. Like I went online because I was like wanting to like doing. I was like, is there anywhere to find like just the instrumental music from this movie? Of course there isn't, but I think like Sam, you're in advertising, right? Can you go to ASCAP and just be like, can we get all the cues from Showgirls on a CD, please?
It depends. Like a lot of times they sell that stuff to edit houses. Like they'll just be whole CDs full of the instrumental tracks from things, and you can get some of them.
Okay, because that's what
I got
somebody got a
all
bootleg. Years ago, there was a bootleg CD out there that did have the musical cues from Showgirls, but I think some of them were lifted directly from the DVD rip of it, so it wasn't like it was isolated. There was one thing that was isolated, and it was that goddess theme.
Because we have better technology now for extracting vocals.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we could do that now. Because I wanted, I even wanted the music from the puppy chow or the doggy chow scene. It's just so like ambient, and it's just like in the background, like this dramatic kind of minor chordy kind of thing going on while they're talking about doggy chow and like, you're a whore and stuff. Like I want that to use in a movie.
I'm shocked that it doesn't exist on the Internet Archive.
Roger Brain.
That there's not like a score of it. Hey, Roger. Though the VH1 cut is on Internet Archive, in case anybody wants to go back and watch this again and see the and see it again from a whole different angle.
God, I hated that VH1 version.
The original soundtrack is on the Internet Archive.
People say the movie's terrible.
There is the score, and it has. I forgot that I'm Afraid of Americans is in it.
Yeah, the original version.
Yeah.
There was an original version before the Trent Reznor version came out.
Yep. Yeah.
Did anybody here ever see that documentary called You Don't Know Me that came out? So there was a documentary about Showgirls. I saw it. It was good. Like it put a lot of like, it made me feel a lot better about how I kind of respect this movie. No, it's more like an academic. It's kind of like it's like, do you remember that documentary about The Shining where it was like room, blah, blah, blah. And they like talk about like all these conspiracy. It's kind of like a documentary like that, where it's more like kind of like an academic thing where they kind of go into the movie and like take things from it and like, try to, anyway, it was, that movie made me really feel better about my love for Showgirls. Cause I guess I just needed some really pretentious documentary filmmaker to tell me that I was okay. But I was just watching it. I was like, oh my God, I know. Right. And that's right. And that's right. Yeah. Like it's a good movie. I really liked it, but it's not like about like having interviews with the people in the movie. It's more of like, it's kind of like that Room, whatever they call it, the Shining thing, Room 4 and 6 or whatever.
Did you see the Lynch Oz movie, that documentary?
No.
It's really good. It's about how Wizard of Oz is in so many of David Lynch's movies.
Oh, wait, what's it called?
It's like Lynch / Oz.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good. Like I was actually like, I'm like, there's no way they're going to be able to get a full movie out of this. And it actually really works. There's like 4 different filmmakers that each do a section. And I was like, wow, like I think you would like it. It would be a movie I would recommend to you. I think other people that don't get deep into the like language of film and like how these are like would be like, I don't want to watch this, but I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, I like nerdy shit. So
yeah,
I checked it out.
What I love. Yep.
Yeah.
Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about your involvement with Showgirls too?
So, Rena Riffle wanted, so So my ex was making a documentary about sex in the cinema for like, I don't know, AMC or something. And he interviewed Rena Riffle. And he goes, "Oh, I was talking to Rena Riffle after our interview, and she told me that she shot some movie starring her and all her friends called Trasharella, and she made it with a video camera, and she's having a hard time editing it. Would that be something that you would be interested in, like, helping her with?" And I was like, "Do you just describe my life to me?" So I was like, "Yes." So I helped her out with this movie, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm going to be making this movie called, Showgirls 2." And oh God, I loved Showgirls 2. Showgirls 2 was it was like her and all her friends and a camcorder. It was like Boarding House. It was like my boarding, like how I loved like Boarding House, Son of Blob, something like that. Like Showgirls was like my Boarding House, my Son of Blob, like the like weird, cheap, amateur, like LA based movie with like my friends that like I could put in my scrapbook for the rest of my life. So that was Showgirls 2. I don't know. What other, do you have any specific questions about it? It was it's so it's Rena's character is supposed to be living with Glenn Plummer. She continues living with him, and then like she decides she wants to move to LA and like work in dance shows or something. She took a lot from Mulholland Drive to make that. So it was very oblique, and it was like I think she thought she shot like 3 hours worth of footage, and then she made an hour and a half long movie, and then she was like, "Oh, you know what? These other actors and stuff, like they're sad that they're not in the movie." So then she made like this other hour and a half long movie that's like this other version of it. So she should probably just call that like Showgirls 3.
Wow, I didn't know that part about the other cut.
Oh yeah. So she made like
kind
one
of Boogeyman too. It's just Uli Lamelish.
Kind of, but like Uli Lamel was like, he was very like cynical. Like he was just like, "Oh, the producers want this movie. Like, oh, I will give them shit because that's all they are. They are shit." And he'll like, throw at them like some thing that he cut together. And like Rena's like an artist, like she's just like, "Okay, well, I'm thinking like, like she and I, like we see eye to eye because like we really think like all the like crap that we cut together on videos like it's real art." So she was. That was, I don't know. Have you seen Showgirls 2?
Mm-hmm.
You have.
Yeah, I wrote a review because I remember you shared it with her.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because you wrote that article, and I was like, "Yeah, Rita's crazy." Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I remember that was like 2010 when we shot that, and like all her friends. She had like one of her best friends in LA was like this Yiddish horror movie host, and his name was Count Smokula. And now his whole shtick was that he was this like Yiddish Dracula who smoked a cigar, and he was on set, and she had like some other woman is like some like porn actress who had been on like Celebrity Rehab, like that was her friend, like some other crazy actress who was in all these horror movies who was like obsessed with the idea that everyone was trying to steal her purse. Like she was on set like making this movie. And then you'd also have like Glenn Plummer or like Greg Travis just like thrown into the mix, who are just like, "Who are all these weirdos? And why is no one signing my SAG timesheet?" So it was so much fun to work on that movie. But it was.
What did they do in the film? Like, what?
Like, so you mean like the Showgirls people, like the people from
Glenn
the original?
And yeah.
So like Glenn Plummer has a scene at the beginning where he's like, "Man, we've been together for years and you still haven't learned how to dance." And she's like, "Well, fuck you. I'm moving to LA." And she's like, "Well, there ain't no pot of gold at the end of that stupid ass rainbow." And she like leaves, and that's the end of Glenn Plummer, right? And then she goes to like LA,
okay.
And she goes to like sell her ring, and like Greg Travis is like working in like the pawn shop, and she's like, "Hey, do you remember me like from Cheetah?" And he's like, "Yeah, I remember you whore, like here's your ring and here's some money." And she's like, "Fuck you." And she like storms out. Like that's the end of his part. Like, so it's just like they all just kind of like show up in the movie, but there's a lot of other fun stuff. It really is like
it does sound very Beware the Blob.
It is. It's like boarding house. It's like Beware the Blob. I called it Desperate Living meets it's it's just a lot of it's just very fun and amateurish. If that makes sense.
Where can you watch it?
Tubi.
Can you is it on Tubi?
It was on Tubi for the longest time. I'm not sure if it still is or not.
So
that's where I saw it.
She had a cut that came out that that was distributed, and then she created her own other alternate cut after that she sort of self-distributed. And they're completely two separate different movies because she just used different footage that she had shot like from one to the other. So it's kind of like, you remember Exorcist Dominion and Exorcist yeah, it was like that. It's like where you're just kind of like, okay, so you can get to watch like these two different showgirls. I mean, that's kind of like, it'll try the patience of most people. But I don't feel like anybody in this room, I think it would be something people would want to investigate.
I'm reading through. We did an interview about it, and you said that she had made a play called Trasharella too.
Oh yeah, that's the movie that she was. So she had done this like movie called Trasharella, and she had like had all her friends in it, and like, then she was like, "Okay, I'm going to premiere it," and like, can you tell me like how I could edit it better? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I think it's fine. And she's like, okay, I'm going to be making Showgirls too. Do you want to work on that with me? And I'm like, yeah. And so I got to work on her with that. And it was so much fun. I didn't have to be on the set too many times when all those A-listers were like being assholes. Mostly it was just like where, we'd be on a set and then there'd be like a bunch of people that are like, well, yeah, I'm going to go home now. Yeah, I'm just getting pretty late. I got to go. And then she's like, okay, we're going to shoot like the stripper scene. And then there'd be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to stay for another hour. It's just like everybody would just line up and like watch like some strip scene or something. And then,
I wrote about it. She gets a maid who works for free. There's a plot to kill her, a double boiled hot dog eating scene. She gets traded to dance by a ballerina, a cocaine toothbrushing scene, a makeup meltdown, a TV show where she has to get naked and then goes to Broadway before running into a drifter, tomatoes for dinner, a maybe a strip of remake and remix that seems to last 2.5 hours while having the canny ability to repeat the pool scene, but with two ladies of a certain age, all set to the music from Birdemic.
That's pretty much it. Oh my God.
I said, this feels like
so many memories.
I said, this is like a mid-90s Ringe Dream movie without penetration, or the unsexiest movie ever, or if Bruno Mattei had been called in to replace Paul Verhoeven three weeks into Showgirls.
Exactly. So. That's wwhy I liked it, because it does feel like a Bruno Mattei movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like if he was like, I need to make Showgirl, my version of Showgirls has just Penny, only Penny, because that's what he would do. Be like, well, we can get this girl from Showgirls, but it wouldn't, so we can say featuring her from Showgirls.
It wouldn't. Here's the thing though. Showgirls 2 wouldn't be Bruno Mattei. It would be Claudio Fragasso, but it would be Bruno Mattei. It would be one of those weird movies where like Claudio Fragasso's name is like attached to it, but then you hear everyone involved is like, oh yeah, Bruno Mattei took over shooting like 2.5 days into production or something. So
it's like all the D'Amato ones where like he's like someone started shooting and like the first day they're like, I'm not good at directing, and he's like, oh, you keep your name on it, I'll direct it, but you keep your name on it.
Right.
And
it's okay.
It's okay, don't worry, I have my names on everything else. He's like, we'll call it like Raftonato or something, it's fine, you do it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love this.
What about that German guy that was going to make a sequel to Showgirls and then it just sort of like fell apart? Rena was involved in that briefly.
Yeah, what is his name? Mark Vorlander?
Mark Vorlander, I think.
Mark Vorlander. So Mark Vorlander wanted to make a sequel to Showgirls, and then he asked Rena if she would want to be involved, and Rena was like, oh sure, this sounds like fun. And then the more that she got to know him, and the more that his idea was like, well, I want Nomi to be beaten to death with a barbell in the first 5 minutes, and then I want it to go off in some other direction. And Rena's like, okay, well, I have to leave. And then she was,
Yeah.
kind of exited. And then he was just like, oh, Rena is a, disloyal bitch. She betrayed me. And she was just like, I think it was funny. There was this, Entertainment Weekly article where they asked Rena about it. And she goes, yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. And then the writer's like, after a chilly pause, like she was just like, no. So yeah, he's kind of, he was nuts, man. I remember like looking at his YouTube and he just had like all these like little video movies that he had made that were like, I mean, they were okay or whatever, but like his level of pretension or like just willing to just like fight with people like, oh man, I'm gonna, fuck Karolko. I want the rights to this. And then people are like, come on. No, Mark Vorlander. I tried to look him up recently, actually.
Well, something did come out. There was a film that was released
that he made. It's a lost film now, though. No, because I was looking it up and I was like there's that trailer that he made that somebody said it looked like a Czechoslovakian porno film from like the 80s or something. It was like it just had bad production values.
Yeah, it was really crude. Crudely made.
It's his movie is not available. Like I've tried like on Roku and looking it up and stuff, and like I don't think he ever made one, or if he ever made one, I don't know if it ever got released. Or
he made a Death Wish ripoff too in 2013, the next Death Wish. Yeah.
Wait, I remember that Death Wish movie.
Yeah,
but I remember him coming out with that because it was in the whole Showgirls thing, and it was like he was like, "Oh, in the meantime, I have just randomly directed this thriller."
Yeah, this Showgirls Exposed he has on IMDb, and supposedly it can't be played anywhere because it has footage from Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Which what?
Well, take it out then, and like
And the filming locations include Streetsboro, Ohio, Frankfurt, Germany, and Las Vegas. What?
I love the idea too that like some auteur would allow his film to never be played anywhere because he was so adamant about including footage from Dr. Caligari.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I cannot let go.
Right. It had to be there.
There's 5 reviews on IMDb, which I doubt these people even saw it. My favorite is bullshit imposter fan film that wants to be arty, but it fails.
Yeah. That's what they said about Rena's movie, but at least Rena's movie has a sense of humor.
Yeah. and it actually came out and you can find it.
At least it's there and you can see it.
I don't know. That was a weird situation. That was written up in Entertainment Weekly, like the Battle of the Showgirl sequels. And they're like, well, this movie didn't really knock it out of the park, like, at the box office. But we have this crazy German guy and this crazy girl who played a stripper in the first movie, like duking it out for who's going to like make the first official sequel.
There's a couple letterbox reviews of this, and it says, man, this review is great by Dareflex. It says, there are literally no redeeming qualities here. The plot oscillates between laughable and non-existence. The direction doesn't seem to realize what genre it is. There's no sense of timing, no sense of place. It was edited in MS Paint. There's the music, if you want to call it that. It sounds like a little boy got to play with the synthesizer in the store for a few minutes. He pressed all the buttons and hammered all the keys 30 years ago in the 80s. It's not sexy. It's not thrilling. It's not intentionally funny. It just hurts your brain and makes you wish that it was unaffordable. It's a pretty good review. Now I want to see it.
Oh,
yeah, God. That sounds like something memorable, at least.
Yeah, it sounds like something.
Yeah.
Me.
Not that Rena's film isn't. I'm just saying.
No. I mean, they're two different animals. But I've never really thought about his movie as actually being a movie because all I remember is just a lot of like, I'm gonna make a movie, and then like I've never seen it. Is it available to see anywhere?
That's what I'm looking for now to see
Yeah.
if it is available. I don't see it anywhere, but
And to be fair,
I
hers
could have sworn I
is
saw clips. I was obsessed with this movie for a brief period. The Mark Vorlander Showgirl sequel, because I was like,
Mhm.
really into Showgirls, and I kept thinking, God, like, what is this going to be like? And Rena Riffle's going to be involved in it. So, but honestly, it was. I saw some kind of weird clip of supposed to have been the
Oh yeah,
film.
do you remember it was
I
like
know.
some woman
You tell
climbing out of a
me.
steam room and then she gets like knocked on the head with a barbell or something? But it was like it looked like somebody was
It
like,
was
"Yeah,
some
it
kind
looks
of
like a
crazy shit.
Soviet
Yeah.
porn movie."
as someone that spent $24
No
this week to
two
get the
shots look
last
the
two,
same. Like some of
as I say, as someone that spent $24 this week to get the last two Film Mirage movies he needed, yeah,
Film Mirage.
you got to do what you got to do.
I mean, if you need it, you need it.
How much is that Madonna or not Madonna, sorry. How much is that Black Emmanuel DVD? 150?
Like 175, yeah.
Oh god. That is pricey. The last time I spent something like that, I bought that Andy Milligan thing and it was like $200 or something and like literally I was paying for it for like 6 months afterwards.
They have
Like I
it.
was like,
They have it at my half price books, and I'm like, I really want it, but
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know. It's like I just remember like I like it sucks, but you know, like I remember buying like, you know, something like that and then I was like, okay, I'm eating tuna from the 1st through the 15th.
DVD Lady has it. That's where I get a lot of my like really hard to find movies. It's
Oh.
$12 on
Yeah, but
DVD.
you have to but don't you want the like the real thing with like the box and
You get you get a DVD of it, yeah. But
the Emmanuel box set though?
no, I mean for Showgirls Exposed, they have it
Oh,
for
you talking about so okay, I thought we were talking about
no, but yeah,
Emmanuel.
I mean if I'm going to get the Emmanuel set, I'm going to get the whole thing. I'm
Yeah.
also my wife said, "Isn't that porn?" And I said, "No, but right, but yeah, it totally is."
You know what? Just you know what? Watch it with her. Like she doesn't. You
Oh
know, it's not.
no.
No,
She
I
would
mean,
never watch it. She would
no,
not.
but I mean, the thing is, I mean, if you're worried about your husband like losing sexual interest in you because he's like masturbating to something, I mean, with the internet is the villain, not Black
That's what I
Emmanuel.
told her. I said, "There's a whole internet out there. Like the Black Manual
Yeah.
films are not the reason of it. Like
No, exactly. Like, no, it's yeah, I know what you mean. It's like sometimes I remember when I was writing, like, I would be like, I'm writing a movie review of like Insatiable with like Marilyn Chambers.
yeah,
You know, it's like, well, what are you just watching porn? It's like, yeah, and I'm gonna be, you know, no, come on, this is Marilyn Chambers. Like, this is
yeah,
1980. Like,
yeah. We're
yeah.
I'm writing about art. That's what
I'm writing about what happened to the girl from fucking Rabbit. God damn it! It
I'm
has
writing
nothing to do
about the
with
girl
porn.
that was on the soapbox. That's
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
writing about.
So you know that you know what's kind of funny is that they didn't coexist in the same universe, I don't think. But you know, Marilyn Chambers was the woman from the soapbox, and years later, or either before, or whatever, like Melanie Griffith was the baby.
Yeah,
So you know, like I don't think that they were actually holding each other in that advertisement. I think that this existed in other universes. You know, there was reboots of the logo, but
Mhm.
you know what I mean. It's like Marilyn Chambers holding like Marilyn,
Holly
holding.
Body.
Oh God, that would be amazing. Like Working
Yeah,
Girl being
yeah,
held by you know Insatiable.
yeah. I love it. I
So if Bill left, who the hell's going to make the lightning work?
He'll come back. He's walking out on his birthday. He's like, "Oh, my birthday's over. Good night.
Good night. I fucking hate my birthday.
Good night, everybody."
When I was a kid, I used to hate my birthday
Oh,
parties. And then as an adult, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like did you?
I hate them because something bad would happen every year. The police came one year. Um, like there was like a fire one year. Like there was a lot of bad stuff. So like this is a horrible story, but I'll tell it. There's a kid that lived up the street from us, and he was very rich. His dad was like the president of the only bank in our hometown in Elwood City. He had a lot of money, but his dad was not really his dad. The neighbor was his dad, and everybody knew this story, right? So anyway, he got really mad. He started yelling at my brother and claiming my brother was telling people that his dad wasn't the dad. And it was like, okay, like who cares, right? And he just kept like trying to fight my brother. So ended up they got into a really big fight, and like baseball bats were used. My brother knocked him out with a baseball bat. It was really bad. They were like 8 too. And anyway, like the cops came at my birthday party, and like my grandfather and I had to go out and talk to the cops. And they're like, well, and this kid was sitting there crying, and he had like, it was sitting on the ground on his hands, and he had mud, and he just kept rubbing his eyes as he was crying, and just mud was running down his cheeks. And my grandfather just started laughing at him. So my grandfather was like a big, like Dolph Sweet looking guy. That's a reference for Bill. And
I knew
he was, yeah, from Give Me a Break. TV's Give Me a Break. The grandfather
and sisters.
Yes, and sisters, correct. And so he was like, look at this kid. Look at this asshole. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, my grandfather did swear at the cops. Yep, that's right. And he was like, look at this fucking kid. And the cop's like, yeah, I guess you're right. We're just going to go. And then I was like, I fucking hate my birthday. It was always shit like this all the time. Also, this same story about my grandfather. Bill, I told you the story, right, about the kid playing vampire with me. Did I ever tell you that story?
Yes.
It's Becca's favorite story. This kid would dress like a vampire and hang outside my grandparents' house, and he would want to bite me, kiss my neck, and he would like bite my neck. And my grandfather came out, and he was like, what the fuck is he doing to Sam? And then he was like, get this kid out of the fucking house. And he just started like screaming at him, trying to hit him. And he was like, my grandma was like, well, he's a very weird kid. He's like, well, he's trying to kiss my grandson's neck, and I don't want that. And yeah, it was real weird. So my wife loves this story. So she's always like, can I kiss your neck like Eric the Vampire? And I'm like, no, you can't. She's like obsessed with this story. So, yeah, but every year something would happen. Cops would get called. Something would catch on fire. Their entire family would get into a fight. One year when I was really young, a rat crawled up the toilet while I was going to the bathroom. And I looked down, and there was a rat climbing out of it. Again, my grandfather got a giant like serving fork and stabbed it, walked into the other room, showed all the ladies that were hiding from the rat, said, look, I got it, and threw it into the woods. Yeah.
Ew.
So that's why I just like, I don't like my birthday. And I also don't believe anyone should get birthday parties other than Bill after they're 21. Because what are you celebrating? My dad told me that once.
Other than
what
Bill,
I want to know is like so if he would have just flushed the rat,
yeah,
it probably would have been fine, right? Because if it would have found its way up through the pipes, then it wasn't blocking anything.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was like, I remember at the same time, Evel Knievel was jumping Snake River Canyon. Everybody was hiding in that room watching it. And like, everybody's like, we don't want to see the rat. And he had it on this giant fork. And they're like, we just want to watch Evel Knievel. I've had a crazy childhood. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My grandfather was worth several good stories out of him. So, yeah.
Damn it. I never met my grandparents.
My grandmother
died.
lived to be 97, and she never ate food. She drank Coke and she ate chocolate. That's all she ate. Never took
What
her
the-
pills. Never took.
I've heard so many stories about somebody who's like, oh yeah, I live to be 98 and all I do is I just eat like cream sauces and like smoke cigarettes and stuff. And like
the only other thing I ever saw her eat when I was a kid and I would stay there when I was sick, she would make a peanut butter sandwich for me and she would put butter on the peanut butter. And she said, well, the peanut butter is too dry. Hey, Bill, look who's here for your birthday.
Rena
Ripple, hello there.
Hi, Rena. We were talking about Showgirls too.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by for my birthday.
That's why I had a rip
we were
for that
talking
story.
about how much we loved her.
I didn't think she was still on Facebook. I thought she like gave that up.
We were talking about how your character was sort of like the parallel of Nomi. in Showgirls. It's like she seemed like someone who had just come to Las Vegas and was also looking to start climbing this ladder. They were both at the cheetah at the same time. Um. So, yeah. What else can we? What else should we ask Rena while she's here?
Rena, when is that documentary about Showgirls coming out?
Oh yeah,
there's a documentary in the works about Showgirls. That my ex Jeffrey is making, but I don't know. We'll see. I think there's a lag on the internet tonight.
Yeah, there's been a curse on this show for maybe like the last couple of months. I think they're trying to tell us something.
You know, do they want us to be on Facebook anymore or not?
I don't think so.
I think I probably would. I know, like same here. Like I've honestly like been like, I'm gonna leave Facebook, except that I have friends from Driving Asylum that I want to keep. It's like maybe we should all move. Oh, here it is. I think it will come out. Okay, all right. Well, yeah. Jeffrey's my ex-husband, and he's making this movie about Showgirls.
Forward to.
Yeah. Rena, when is Showgirls 3 coming out? And here's a question I want to ask you. When you did like Showgirls 2 The Cut, like have you ever thought about just doing like Showgirls 2 The Cut and making it like Showgirls 3 and just calling it like a third sequel to Showgirls? Because I was thinking, because it's got a completely different plot. There's like all these completely different characters. Like you could just call it Showgirls 3. Love. Oh my God, I can't believe Rena's here. I'm so excited.
There are more Showgirl stories to be told.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I sent her an email. He emailed me a few months ago. So anyway, Rena, you got to make Showgirls 2 The Cut. You got to make it into Showgirls 3 and just make 3 movies. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did any Mike, do you have, I know you don't have it, Sam, but do you have, Mike, the DVD box set for Showgirls that has the deluxe DVD, a deck of cards, a pin the pages on the Showgirls game?
No.
Yeah.
No, I never bought that. I was always waiting for like the really amazing, like, I was like, okay, well that sounds fun, but I want to wait for like there to be interviews with the people in the movie and stuff. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh my God. So Rena's going to talk. Rena, talk to the people in the chat. This is amazing.
Showgirls 2? Yeah. Did Wild Eye put out Showgirls 2?
I think, yeah, but I think they put out, so like Rena had like one version that came out, the first version, and I think that was Wild Eye. And then I think she like put her own version out after that. It was sort of like the Aber Ridge Massacre. Like there's a lot of versions floating around. All right. So let's talk about what do you guys tell me about so who picked the movies for tomorrow?
Bill
Jack
did.
picked them.
Oh, Jack picked them? Okay.
No, Jack picked them, yeah. I asked him what he wanted to do. The first thing he said was Grizzly. And I said, okay, well, why don't we do another Girdler film to go with it? And I said, the only one, well, I guess maybe I picked the second film. I don't know.
I think we've shown
But
every
it's
other
fantastic.
film, though. Yeah.
We've shown many of them. I think there's still one or two we haven't done yet.
You've done Abby?
Yeah, we did Abby.
Yeah. You did Abby, and you did Asylum of Satan, and you're going to be doing like the animals and Grizzly and stuff. Yeah, so
we did 3 on
you
a
know
meat
what?
hook,
One you
too.
haven't shown yet is Sheba Baby, the movie he made.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the only one I think we haven't done.
Yeah.
We did 3 on a meat hook too. We didn't do the Get Man or Project Kill either.
What was the movie that you guys watched? I'm sorry, I've been kind of strung out recently. I've started this new regimen for my jaw, and it involves taking a lot of pain pills. But what was that thing that you guys did last week that was like, what was the last movie that you guys did?
Cuckoo Birds.
Oh, Nest of the Cuckoo Birds, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was amazing. And I really thought that I was, I loved
you
both
loved
of
that
them.
movie, didn't you?
Yes, and I really thought I was hallucinating when I watched them because they were so good, and they were so out of like left field, right?
Yeah. It's just one of those magic moments where a truly obscure film from the past has resurfaced, and it's something really so bizarre and out there that it's so much fun. Nest of the Cuckoo Birds.
That was something.
I love the killer. The nude female killer who was on the beach in the Everglades naked, which there's got to be like bugs all over her and, etc.
Oh, God, it's got to be miserable.
Gators.
Yeah. All right. So
Lee asked, what are the movies for 419? They will be Andy Milligan's Blood and Confessions of a Psycho Cat will be the last of our movies for April. You can blame me for Confessions of a Psycho Cat.
You were talking about that online.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I have to. Wally's asking me for something. I'll be right back. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Confessions of a Psycho Cat was yours, and I think I suggested Blood.
And I, of course, said instantly. I mean,
yes.
I mean, that's one of my favorite movies ever. So
why would you say no to Andy Milligan?
I think it's the most perfect of Andy Milligan's movies. And by that, I mean it's deranged and doesn't make any sense. So it's perfect. I am very excited for Showgirls 3 as well. I see that Rena's writing. So that's pretty exciting as well.
I know.
I'm ready to put money down on it.
Sold before it's even created.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really sort of obsessed with the movie Showgirls for a while. I guess I still am. I've never really gotten over it. It's up there with those movies like Mommy Dearest.
Mm-hmm.
That's another movie that I was obsessed with, and I know it forwards and backwards. And there's a couple other ones like Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. They all have that same quality that Showgirls has. That's sort of like, it's real, but it's not real. It seems like it's plausible, and yet it's completely batshit crazy too. So there's a special balance that you have to find between those two things.
It's John Waters movies have that too to them, I think, where it's like they're in on Earth, but they're not in our world.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I don't want normal movies. I want to be like entertained, and I want to be wowed by them, and I want to think, but also not to think, if that makes sense.
Is Wally okay?
Yeah, Wally had to pee.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It was Wally, though.
Doesn't he have a place for that?
Yeah, in the sandbox. I had to show him where it was. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
have
I
a
had to
place for
pee.
that.
I left. I came back.
Oh, good. That's why I left too.
We just thought you walked out. You're like, I'm done. This is enough.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I told you I was totally gonna do it until what time is it? I don't know. Yeah, no.
Like that's it. This is all I contractually can do because of SAG. I can't do anymore.
Yeah, but I asked for an extension because it was Bill's birthday.
Yeah,
But they
exactly.
told me I could only do it until midnight or something. I don't even know what time it is.
I'm like
Well,
John Saxon in Hands of Steel. I will only appear in the scene shot in Italy, and that's how I'll not get killed in a helicopter crash.
oh, is that when? And even that, it's so funny because when you watch that, when John Saxon is in the helicopter, that you can see like some like verbiage on the side of the helicopter in Italian on a
Yeah,
cloudy day. And then they cut
yeah,
that
Yeah.
together with like something happening in California, like on a sunny day.
yeah. He was like a big stickler for
Genius
that. He's like,
filmmaking.
he's like SAG saved my life because if I had been in the helicopter, I would have died.
Oh God, absolutely.
Because Claudio Caselli died in that.
Oh God. There's so many helicopter crashes happening.
Oh,
You know, I mean, I'm just thinking of 3, but you
yeah.
know,
No,
like,
but still.
there's, Twilight Zone and Hands of Steel, and there was that thing that happened the other day, and there's like,
Oh,
yeah, no, helicopters cannot be trusted.
no. I was watching my new
Oh, you know
obsession.
what?
Go ahead, Bill.
Birthday boy, go.
That that scene in Cloverfield in the helicopter really freaked me out. I don't know if you
Mm.
guys are fans of that movie or not. I'm sure you both saw it.
I've
No,
actually never
that's
seen it.
I saw it when it came out. I remember, and I had no idea that it was going to be as good as it was. I just kind of thought it was like
Yeah.
oh, I'm watching. Yeah,
I didn't have
no.
high hopes. I was because they had this crazy ad campaign or internet campaign. There was a website, and they kept saying all these cryptic things on the website. Of course, it ended up being totally unrelated to anything in the movie,
They had like
which
the
was classic.
soda and all that other stuff too, or whatever the
Yeah,
energy drink was. Yeah.
I don't understand what any of that shit meant because they don't talk about any of it in the movie. But
Mm-mm.
anyway, the helicopter scene where they're in the helicopter crash really freaked me out. Uh, I think it's just a scary way. I've never been in a helicopter. Have you?
No,
Either of
no,
you?
I haven't. No.
I think they sound scary and loud. And you know what I don't like is that every time somebody exits a helicopter in a movie or on a TV show, they always duck. And then when I've been to a helicopter, I realize that those propellers are like 16, 17 feet in the air. So, like,
You don't want to take any chances,
yeah. And it's like, so
Mike.
it's like if you're really that intimidated by this machine to the point that you're going to duck when those propellers are like 16 feet above you, then like maybe we should talk about like maybe being on a boat or something. I don't know. I'm not a fan of helicopters.
I just keep thinking of Dawn of the Dead. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think of the unshot ending of Dawn of the Dead.
I think of Jaws too.
Oh, I'm so glad they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that too.
And Cruel Jaws, because that same scene is in Cruel Jaws.
Yeah, it's Cruel Jaws.
Yeah. The same exact scene. Bill, I have some movie news though. Did you see Dark Forces is putting out The Farmer on 4K? So they say
Oh wow,
they even refer to
we're
it.
so spoiled now.
They even refer to it as its true name, the Fama.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm glad they got it.
I want
Right.
them to put the soundtrack out too, because I love the music from the Fama.
All right. Good night, Lee.
Good night, Lee. Yeah,
Thanks for coming and
Lee.
hanging out on my birthday.
yeah,
Lee was the one who really watched the movie for the first time.
yeah. Exciting.
Frank didn't see it before either. He watched
No,
it for the first time.
Is that true though?
We had a couple of showgirls virgins.
yeah. This is the one movie Mike can't say he hasn't seen.
Tomorrow night we're gonna have.
Mike be like, I haven't seen it. I'm like, you were in the fucking sequel. Of course you've seen it.
No, I've told you. Okay, so the reason why I haven't seen a lot of stuff is because I would just pick certain movies to obsess over.
Yeah.
So when you're like, how could you have not seen the horrible Dr. Orloff or whatever? And it's like, well, because I watched, Wanda the Wicked Warden or Ilsa the Wicked Warden like 50 times or something like that, or I watched Justine or something. Like there's these like, or Jack the Ripper. Like I have my Jess Franco movies that I'll just obsess over. And then people are like, well, you haven't seen Faceless, you haven't seen this, you haven't seen that. And I'm like, no, and it's not because I don't like him. It's just because I watched The Bloody Judge like 40 times.
Yeah.
So, no.
I'm like that with albums too. Like I don't want to listen to a second album.
Mhm.
Like if I really like someone's album, I'm always like, I'm worried. Do you know what I mean?
There's a couple people that just
good.
Lee had to sign off, but there's a couple people that just popped into chat, including Philip Duke. Philip, we have Rena Riffle in the chat, who was actually in Showgirl. She plays Penny.
Oh yeah.
Nomi's dancing partner at the Cheetah. So if you have any questions for Rena about Showgirls, there she is. And about her sequel, Showgirls 2, Pennies from Heaven, soon to be Showgirls 3. We saw it happen right here on this show.
No, she has enough footage. She shot enough footage for Showgirls 2 that she could make a Showgirls 3. It's like kind of like like a Sleepaway Camp 3 situation, or like Back to the Future 3, like where you have another movie. So.
Wow.
Oh my God. So Sam, when's your birthday? You're a Leo, right? So your birthday is in what, July?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to force people to watch something really bad for my birthday.
Mummy Theme Park.
Mummy Theme Park and Kidnapped. That Howard Evan-Diaz movie I told you guys about.
Oh God.
People are going to be like,
your birthday, we'll do whatever you say.
We're going to watch They're Playing with Fire, and we're going to watch I don't know what else. Private Lessons or something, or Homework with Joan Collins. That's what we'll watch. It'll be a double Joan Collins feature just for me.
Poor Joan Collins.
Poor Joan Collins.
Forced to star in those cheap sex comedies.
What did we do on my birthday? We watched like Boarding House and The Demon or something.
Yeah. That is a Mike double feature right there.
Oh man. I wish I could make you watch better movies, but no, that's all I'm interested in.
I'm going to make you guys watch all the
movies we're interested in.
All the movies that the director of Mummy Theme Park did, because I've seen all 5 of them, and they get even crazier. Like that's his most normal movie. They all get in more and more insane. One is a Never Ending Story remake that he literally shot in a fucking closet. It's great. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. I can't wait. I have a weird thing where it's like if someone watches something and they're like, why did you make me watch this? Like it gives me energy. I'm like a psychic vampire forcing people to watch movies. So pretty excited about that. Also, the Zodiac Fighters, a Thailand kung fu movie that has a bad guy who is in a giant train that shoots rubber sharks out of it, and all rubber-faced Zodiac characters. It's great. Polly Chan's in it, who is in the one. She's one of the few of the time Hong Kong female martial artists. It's so good. I'll make people watch that too. And then just like a random documentary, just like about animal husbandry or something.
Just randomly, I just remember there was this movie with Greg Kinnear and Ashley Judd that was supposed to be called Animal Husbandry.
Oh man.
But they retitled it As Good as It Gets or something.
Oh yeah,
you can do what you want or something. It was like
it's As Good as It Gets. It's horrible, yeah. It's like I remember like my college girlfriend like loved movies like that. So when we go to Blockbuster, I'd be like, oh, they have Faceless. And I'd want to see like a Jess Franco movie, and she'd be like, oh, but they have Failure to Launch. And I'm like, don't you want to see Faceless? And it would always be like me trying to argue for these. And because she lived in a different town than me. So like their Blockbuster and their mom and pops had so many different things I hadn't seen. And
So-
I'm like, let's watch these. Nope.
So I just want to ask you, when you tell Becca stories about how like basically every woman before her failed miserably
Yeah.
in every conceivable way, and in ways that would hurt her as much as it hurts you.
Yeah.
Like, how does she feel? Is she just like, yeah, I'm sorry, I just wandered into the right place at the right time?
No, she's like, you're an idiot. That's what she tells me all the time. She's like, you were with the horrible people. Chris Erickson knows. Chris Erickson had been ground zero for some of this stuff. I see he's in the chat.
Because I mean, some of the stories you tell about these women, like it would hurt Becca as much as it hurts you, like how stupid these broads were.
Like she's just like, I don't get this. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But it's just
we all gotta stumble around in the shit
that.
until we find like our true.
I buy at least 3 girls' beds, like king size beds, and then I was like sleeping in like a twin bed myself, right? And I would just like buy them beds because I thought, well, this one's gonna last, and I would buy them a bed, and like, nope, wrong, and then they'd be in a bed, and I'd be like, oh, okay, and I would go back to my twin bed with my dog. So yeah.
So homie's trying to rush us off the stage with his cane. Okay.
He's the Sandman from Evening at the Apollo.
Me?
I know.
He's like sweeping us off the stage. Like, go to bed, guys. We got to do this tomorrow too. Come on,
no,
Sandman.
What I'm trying to do is find the lava squid, and I can't because everyone talks about the lava squid. I'm just trying to freeze frame it on the lava squid.
Yeah, Chris Erickson was around for 2 of them. That is true. I think outside of my brother, he's probably I would buy them beds. Why? Because I was like thinking I was going to move in with them, and sometimes I would be living with them, and we wouldn't have a bed, so I'd buy a king size bed, and then I would be the one to end up moving out. They'd keep the bed, and I wouldn't have a bed, and I would like sleep on a couch. I'm a fucking idiot. I think if we've learned anything from the
Judge Judy,
no, because I was like, maybe. Like years later, one of them, like after I got divorced, I hooked up with one of them years later, and I was like, I always wanted to be in that bed, and I finally got to be in that bed for like one night, and I was like, you know what, it wasn't the best bed, so it was probably it all worked out. It was a good decision. But yeah.
You didn't even care. See, Judge Judy wouldn't give you shit unless you were married.
She's like,
to them.
Don't pee in my head and tell me it's raining.
She said, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, then end up back on the sofa. Chris knows what's up. Yeah. I mean, this is the story of my life. But you know what? It's been a good life. It's not over, hopefully. That's what. Don't pee on my head and tell me I'm Jamie Gillis. That's what I said.
How did this turn into your life? This is my birthday.
I know. Happy birthday. I don't want to know because Mike asked that question, and Mike likes making fun of me. Yeah,
Bill, I'm gonna pee on your head and tell you I'm Jamie Gillis. What do you have to say about that?
I totally forgot about us throwing chairs at Noah. Chris Erickson we were watching Laverne and Shirley once. Noah came in and like driving us nuts, and we just started whipping garden chairs at Noah. Because this is how poor we were. We didn't have any furniture. We had plastic garden chairs in the living room. Like we were like Chico in the or something. It was horrible.
Bill's ushering off stage.
Bill, happy birthday.
No, I'm
sorry
for the lava squid.
Yeah, you're looking for diddly.
I do have to. I'm going to gush
sorry,
on Bill
Walt.
then for a second.
What?
I said I love doing the show with Bill.
Don't
I'm very
not
happy
on
we
camera.
No, not on camera. I'm not going to Jamie Gillis on you on camera. I just really enjoy doing the show. I'm glad that we do every show. I hope you enjoyed your birthday show. And I think that this is the best way to celebrate is watching Showgirls with you. And I look forward to being at the drive-in with you. And 2 weeks from now, we're going to be at the drive-in together.
I did.
Yeah.
I know. It's just insane. We wait so long.
Will we film footage this time? That's a great question.
Over before you know it.
Do you guys I'll come to the drive-in in September and film stuff. Okay. Yeah. But I have to but in order for me to actually film stuff that people will want to watch, I have to get stoned. So somebody give me weed, and then I'll just go around with a camera.
Well, we already planned on filming a snuff movie. We talked about during the off stuff, so we're good.
Oh yeah, no, Bill's good at the weed thing. I forgot.
Yeah.
Also, I did give you weed. You still didn't film anything.
Well, I was new,
and I ended up in a gas station, as we all know. So you got to watch the weed Bill gives you.
Yeah, he didn't. He gave me good enough weed. It wasn't anything that
Mike
made me
knows
end up in a gas station.
He knows when to eat it. Because I told you, I was like, you need to eat it. You're like, no, I think I'll wait till later. I was like, no, don't wait till later. You're like, no, I'm good. Okay. Then you end up
I'm big-headed, as my dad used to say, because then I had a whole bunch of one brownie. And I'm like, you know what? I should probably eat a second brownie and a much bigger one because I'm tough. Mm-hmm. And next thing I know, I was in fucking space. No idea what I was at. No clue where I was at. And my wife said, I'm going to sleep, but can you drive home? And I said, who are you? Where am I? And she just said, good night. It was bad scene. Bad scene. Yeah. But I'm not going to make these same mistakes again.
You know what it is that you do to me?
Yeah.
Good.
So, yeah. But I'm looking forward. We'll
Mike
be watching.
Justice, thank you for being on our Showgirls show.
I loved it. Thank you for having me.
Sorry. The delay is seriously affecting my hosting abilities tonight. I apologize. I don't even have any explanation for why this keeps happening because nobody helps you at these apps. They just like text you, oh, really? And then what happened? Uh-huh. And then what happened? Oh, well, sorry, we don't know anything about that.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Have you called somebody? Yeah.
That's my entire IT department at my company.
Okay, bye.
But one of my fellow directors called me today and said, do you have problems with IT? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, he went through all his stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm going through the same stuff. Oh, see, Bill, that's a beautiful birthday message.
I love Rena. I'm so glad she came
Thank
here
you,
tonight.
Rena, for popping into the chat. Yeah. That was really sweet and very kind of you. Thank you. And tomorrow night, we'll have Jack Perez on the show. We're watching Grizzly and the Manitou, two stunning 70s thrillers from William Girdler. And it's going to be a scream. And we hope you'll join us. That's going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. on the Drive-In Asylum double feature. Till then, keep dancing. Always do your nails. Good night.
Good night.
Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian. Under 17 not admitted without parents or guardian.